Now, I absolutely love these coins. Cannot wait until I finish my collection of these coins. Some of them get really pricey, you know, the more rare ones. But let's look at what you should be looking for. So here is the first thing you want to look for, a double die obverse. So doubling taking place on the front of the coin. So you can see that there on the date, on the lettering, and even there on the initials. So if you want to see your coins up close, I do have coin microscopes available, couchcollectibles.com. I don't want this to be a commercial, so we'll just get right back into the coins. You guys can go over there and check it out. And I have a microscope video that explains everything, so feel free to watch that on the channel. Now let's look at a double die obverse. Here is a 1936 that has that doubling. It is graded at a mint state 64, so it does have a high grade. It's got some pretty nice toning to it as well. And this coin sold for over $460. And of course, full bands. If you're not familiar with full bands, here's a picture kind of explaining that. You can screenshot this, that way you guys know what to look for. Alright, so some different prices here. Here's a 1936 Mercury Dime graded at about uncirculated 58. Now this coin only sold for around $35. But if you look at the high graded version of the 1936, no mint mark. We'll show you where the mint marks are here in just one second. This no mint mark, it's a high grade mint state 68 full bands, amazing toning to it. This coin sold for over $9,000. So we go from a $35 coin to a $9,000 coin depending on the grade. So the higher the grade, of course, you know, the more valuable in most cases the coin is going to be. So we also have a D and S mint mark. The mint mark is going to be there on the reverse of the coin at the bottom to the left of the torch there. You'll see a D or an S mint mark or a no mint mark. So no mint mark, D mint mark, S mint mark. Now here is an error coin. This Mercury Dime has been broad struck. And you know, it's not in the best condition, but it's still a pretty nice error coin. This coin only sold for around 30 bucks, so not really worth getting graded. Now this 1936D, this is at the same grade as that no mint mark. It's graded at about uncirculated 58. It only sold for around 18 bucks. So nothing valuable there, but the high graded version of that coin, you know, almost a perfect grade. The coin grading scale goes up to 70. This is at a 68, so 70 would be perfect grade. This is mint state 68 full bands, and this coin sold for over $9,000 as well. So, you know, $35, 18 bucks to $9,000. Huge difference in coin prices. Now for the 1936 proof Mercury Dime, this coin here sold for over $29,000. I would imagine that there's not many of these graded at a proof 68 or higher. So, you know, if there's not many in this condition, of course that is going to increase the demand for the coin, which ultimately increases the value of the coin. So here is a 1936S. You know, it is graded at a mint state 63, so still a high grade, but only sold for around 25 bucks. But if you go to the mint state 68 full bands, this coin sold for nearly $15,000. So, you know, huge difference there. Keep that in mind. Let's check out some other Mercury Dimes that are worth money. Look at this high graded coin here. Now this one does not have any types of errors or anything. It's just solely valuable because of a high grade. It's graded at a mint state 68. Now this coin here sold for over $3,200 because of the high grade. Next up, now this is what you really want to look for on your 1941 Mercury Dime. Get you a USB coin microscope on couchcollectibles.com and you will be able to see your coins up close like this. Now you want to look for doubling. So a double die obverse, a DDO. Look for that on all the lettering as well as on the date. Now if we look here at this 1 on the date, you can really see the doubling there, and you really see it on all the lettering. I mean, look at the top of the T there on trust. Very visible doubling there. Now also look for that on the initials, as well as look for doubling on the back, on the reverse of the coin. So you see that here on the lettering OF, and you will also see that on the word America. So you can really see it there at the top of that R on America, that doubling taking place. So look for doubling, double die obverse, and a double die reverse. Now this coin here actually has doubling on the front and the back. So it's got the DDO double die obverse and the double die reverse. So because of that and because of the high grade, this coin here sold for over $195. Now if we look at this coin, this is a 1941. You can tell that it's been circulated. It's not at a high grade. It's graded at a very fine 35, but it does happen to have that Double Die Obverse on it. It's sold for a little over $25. So you go from a $25 coin to almost a $200 coin just because of the condition of the coin. Here is an amazing and very expensive coin. This is a 1941 dime, silver dime, that has a high grade and some amazing toning to it. Now this coin here, because of the high grade, sold for over $7,000. Now for the S mint mark, there is a large S, which we can see here, and a small s, which we can see here. So large S, small s, there's the difference between those. Now this is a 1941 proof. Before we move on to the S mint mark, here is a 1941 proof graded at a proof 69. Again, some amazing toning to it. And this coin here sold for over $11,000 because of that high grade. Now, first, this is a 1941 small s that has a repunched mint mark. So if you want to see your coins up close, like I said, get that USB coin microscope. Here is a few examples of that RPM on the S mint mark for the 1941 silver Mercury dime. And that is super, super important, because here is the 1941 S that has that RPM, that repunched mint mark, and this coin here sold for over $480. It also does have that high grade with it as well. Now you've seen that large S. Here's an example of a 1941 S that has the large S. It's graded at about uncirculated 53, so it's not the highest grade. If it was a mint state condition, it would be a lot more valuable. This dime only sold for around $25, so nothing too valuable there. Also, don't forget to always look for the 1942 over the 1941 date. So I have a whole video on the 1942 Mercury dime. Be sure to go check that out. You can see that 2 over the 1, and you see how the 4 is over the 4. Really would love to find something like that, because they are super, super valuable. Now also for the 1941 S, this is one without errors. So this coin here is just solely valuable because of the high grade, and this dime sold for over $17,000. This is a repunched mint mark. These are a couple examples of a repunched mint mark taking place on the 1940 Mercury dime. So get you that coin microscope, you will be able to see if you have a repunched mint mark. Now also, there is the 1940 S, the San Francisco minted Mercury dime. Alright, so you can see that there's also an RPM here taking place on the S mint marks, so always be on the lookout for that as well. Here is an example of a 1940 S. Now it didn't sell for a lot of money or anything, but it is that RPM, that repunched mint mark. This coin here sold for a little over $25. But if we move on to some more expensive coins, here's an example of a 1940 Double Die Obverse, a 1940 S Double Die Obverse. So here is that coin. It is a 1940 S Double Die Obverse. This coin here only sold for around $48, so it's not super expensive, but let's seriously move on to a more expensive coin. Alright, so here is a 1940 that is a very, very high graded coin. So it is graded by PCGS at a mint state 68, and it has full bands. If you're not familiar with full bands, here's an example of a picture of that. I've talked about that in my other Mercury Dime coin videos, so be sure to go check those out. All you gotta do is type in Mercury Dimes, Couch Collectibles, and you will find all those videos on YouTube. Now because of this high grade and the full bands, and it's got some really nice toning to it, this coin here sold for over $9,900. Alright, so if we look at a 1940D here, now this one has glue residue on it. It only sold for around $10, but if we look at the same exact coin, the 1940D, this one here is graded at a mint state 68 with the full band, so it's in excellent condition. So this coin here, because of that high grade, sold for over $1,900. Again, if you look at a 1940S, this is graded at a mint state 61. It only sold for around $10, a little over $10. But if you look at a 1940S that's graded at a mint state 68 with full bands, this coin here sold for over $9,000. a $9,000 silver dime. This is one of my favorite coins of this video. Really some amazing toning on it. You see that rainbow there. This is graded at a proof 69. So this is the 1940 proof Mercury Dime. Really excellent condition. Love this coin. This coin here sold for over $11,700. Alright guys, don't forget to subscribe in the middle. Check out the videos to the left of me. And until tomorrow, I'll see you all in the comment section below. This is Couch Collectibles, and this is where I disappear.